Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. I thought I would try another chaos spiral, and I'm going to do a little bit different twist on this one. I'm starting out with my shirt turned inside out, and I have the back of the shirt facing up. I'm going to find an area on the shirt where I'd like to start the center of the spiral, and I normally try to do that just about level with the armpit of the shirt or just a little bit below it. That puts it a little higher up on the chest instead of the center of the spiral being kind of down towards your stomach. To spiral the shirt, I'm using a pair of locking tweezers and a microwave splatter guard. I'm going to attach the locking tweezers onto the mark that I made with the washable marker, and then I'm going to place the splatter guard over the top. And I'm placing the splatter guard with the flat side facing the shirt. Whenever I turn my locking tweezers and begin to spiral the shirt, I'm going to use my other hand to form extra folds in the shirt. Then the splatter guard up against the shirt will help to keep most of those folds about the same height. Once I have the shirt spiraled, I'm going to remove the splatter guard and the locking tweezers and hold the folds in place with some rubber bands. So for this chaos spiral, I thought I would try using 3 colors and make each color have its own little chaos area. I'll explain more when I get in the middle of it. So for this one, I'm going to choose yellows, oranges, and reds. And I'm going to use a lot of different colors on this shirt. If you don't have this many oranges, yellows, and reds, well then just pull the ones that you have and use those. The fun thing about a chaos spiral is just not making the one area one single color. I'm also going to ice dye this shirt. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to place the shirt on top of a metal rack, which I have inside of a plastic tub or tote. I'm going to make myself an ice barrier around this shirt using some silicone cake molds. I'm going to attach the silicone cake molds together and then wrap them around the shirt. I have a link down below in the description for this video for where you can purchase the silicone cake molds. I'm going to start by dividing my shirt into 3 sections using a washable marker, and I'm going to take each one of the lines through the center of the spiral. Also, if you remember, when I actually spiraled my shirt, the front of my shirt was facing the table. Generally, the side of the shirt that's facing the table is normally the prettiest or cleanest side of a spiral shirt. So that is the side that I'm going to apply the dye to. Before I actually start applying the colors to the sections, I'm going to use a color called Dark Black from Custom Colors Dye, and I'm going to place that dye color right on the lines that I just drew with my washable marker. I'm going to use this color to divide the 3 different color sections of my chaos spiral. In one of the sections, I'm going to apply the orange colors, and some of the orange colors that I've chosen are ones that are muck dyes from Dharma, which you can't get anymore, and a few of them are special order colors. Those you can normally get from a Facebook group called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace, and I'll leave a link to that down below in the description for this video as well. Like I said though, I just pulled a whole bunch of orange colors that I have. You may not have this many orange colors, and that's perfectly fine. Just use what you have. It's just when you use more than one color, I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, so let me tell you the ones that I'm using. I'm using Son of a Peach and Citrus Got Real, which were both muck dyed colors, and you probably can't still get those. And the special order colors I'm using are Flamingo Fantasy and Orange Marmalade. Then from Dharma Trading Company, I'm also using Orange Crush, Peach, Orange Sorbet, Deep Orange, Tangerine, Watermelon, and Soft Orange. I'm also using from Pro Chemical and Dye, Dusty Orange, Muskmelon, and Pumpkin Spice. Then lastly, from Happy Cat Tie Dye, I'm using Torchwood, Wandwood, and Fireball. I have all these listed down below in the description, so I know this is a lot of colors. I'm placing these colors randomly in this section, and I'm just using a little bit of each color. And like I said, I'm trying to make it random. That is kind of the chaos part, is just adding color to the section, but not really with any specific design, just kind of placing little spots of these colors within this section. And if you'd like some white left in your spiral, then don't add quite as much dye and fill in the sections as much as I'm getting ready to. The next section that I'm going to do, I'm going to make yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the colors that I'm using for that one. I think the only color that I'm using that's a special order color from Dharma is Goldfinch. The other Dharma colors I'm using are Bright Yellow, Citrus Yellow, Amber Waves, Deep Yellow, Golden Yellow, Clear Yellow, Daffodil, Marigold, Palomino Gold, Lemon Yellow, and that's it from Dharma. Then from Pro Chemical and Dye, I'm using Golden Pineapple, Straw, and then for a little while, Pro Chemical and Dye had some special colors, and from that one I'm going to use Curry, and I'm also using Butterscotch, but I think that's just a regular color. Then the last two colors I'm using are dye spin colors called Old Gold and Zesty Yellow. I'm going to apply the dye on this one the same exact way. Lastly, I'm going to do the red section. And in this one, I think the only Dharma special color I'm using is called Firecracker. The other Dharma colors that I'm using are Fire Red, Atomic Fireball, Chinese Red, Cardinal Red, Dynamite, Burgundy, Maroon, Red Wine, Scarlet, Jungle Red, and Oxblood Red. Then from Grateful Dyes, I'm going to use Stock Red. And from Pro Chemical and Dye, I'm using Basic Red and Strongest Red. And then the dye spin colors I'm using are Dark Cherry, Very Cherry, and Wild Cherry. After I have all the dye colors on the shirt, which by the way took quite a while, I have sped this video up a lot. But once I have all the dye colors on the shirt, I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top, and then add on a layer of ice. I put the shirt aside, and after this first layer of ice melted, I came back and I still had some undissolved dye. So I ended up adding a second layer of ice and allowing it to melt as well. After the second layer melted, I left my shirt and allowed it to process for about 24 hours before I began rinsing it. To rinse the shirt, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of rinsing for a long time, I went ahead and ran some really hot water in my utility sink added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, placed the shirt inside, and allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I put the shirt, along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent, into my washing machine, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so the shirt has been washed, dried, and ironed, and let's see how this chaos spiral looks. Okay, so what do you guys think? How chaotic do you think this one looks? I think it looks really cool. So normally whenever I've done a chaos spiral, I haven't put the dark lines in between, and I thought, well, let's just try something different. I wanted to experiment a little bit and see how it would look, and I think it looks really cool. I do like the fact that the colors are separated. I also like all the color variation in each section of the spiral, and that's kind of the purpose of a chaos spiral. You get lots of bits of color, not really in a specific design, but just kind of all over the place in a section. What is kind of odd is if you look at the red section, the kind of more pinky reds are almost all together, and then the orangey reds are kind of all together. And that is totally unexpected. That is just kind of a fluky thing that happened. It kind of happened too with the orange too. So there must have been one really dark color that I put in that section that kind of traveled in that spiral area. But I think it looks really cool. I like the just depth of color in this shirt. It's not just kind of a flat yellow, orange, and red color. It's got a lot of depth and dimension to it, which I think is really cool. I also, of course, like the black lines, how they kind of streak out, especially up at the top of the shirt. I don't know, overall, I really like the shirt. And yellow is just not my color, but I really like the yellow that it is on this shirt. And I also like the orange. Yellow in particular in tie-dye can sometimes, in my opinion, be a little bit boring because for the most part, a lot of the softer yellows just don't split. You have to almost get into the darker yellows for them to split, or the super soft ones like Golden Pineapple from Pro Chemical and Dye. Sometimes it can be the same thing with orange, unless you get into like orange marmalade or salmon mousse, some of those type oranges. But with the color depth and variation on this shirt, it kind of mimics splits a little bit. I don't know, I just think it looks really pretty. I just like the dimension in this shirt. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.